Forests are so much more than just a group of trees standing together. They are ancient places full of mystery, and they hold a deep wisdom that we are only starting to understand. Imagine yourself walking slowly through a quiet forest. Sunlight filters gently through the green leaves above. What secrets do these tall, silent giants keep hidden from us? We often see trees as lonely figures standing alone, bravely facing the wind and rain, but this idea is not the whole truth. A secret world of busy interaction and quiet communication is thriving all around us, beneath our feet and in the air. Think about an old forest. Every single tree in that forest has its own story to tell. Some trees are very old, perhaps hundreds of years old. They have seen so many seasons come and go, watched the world change around them countless times, and seen other creatures born, live their lives, and then pass away. These ancient trees are not just standing there doing nothing. They are not just passive watchers of the world. They are active members of a living, breathing community. Their lives are connected in amazing ways, like a hidden city, full of activity, just out of our sight. We walk among these magnificent trees often without noticing their secret lives. We might look up and admire how tall they are, touch their rough bark, or enjoy the beautiful colors of their leaves in autumn. But do we ever stop and wonder if they talk to each other? It sounds like something from a children's fairy tale, doesn't it? Yet, modern science is now showing us something amazing. Trees do have their own special way of communicating. They have a language that is all their own. This language is not made of words like ours. It is a language of quiet chemical signals, tiny electrical messages, and the generous sharing of life-giving food. This essay will be your guide on a journey. We will travel together into this hidden world. We will look carefully beneath the forest floor, where so much of the magic happens. We will discover how trees help each other to grow strong, warn their neighbors about dangers, and care for their young saplings. Understanding this secret language of trees is not just interesting, it is very important. It helps us to see the true value of our wonderful forests. It shows us why we must work hard to protect these incredible living networks for all the years to come. When we look at a tree, our eyes usually see its main parts above the ground. We see the strong trunk, the branches reaching for the sky, and the leaves that change with the seasons. But this is only one half of the tree's story. Hidden beneath the soil, there is another huge part of the tree, its roots. Tree roots spread out wide and dig down deep into the earth. They act like an anchor, holding the tree firmly in place, even when strong winds blow. They also search constantly for water and important nutrients, things the tree must have to live and grow. The roots are the tree's foundation, its direct connection to the life-giving soil. But tree roots are not working all alone in this dark underground world. They make very important friends and partners. Their most important partners are tiny living things called fungi. These fungi are not usually like the mushrooms we sometimes see popping up on the forest floor, although those are their cousins. The fungi that help trees are mostly made of microscopic threads called mycelium. They are incredibly thin, much finer than even the smallest tree roots. These tiny threads weave together to create a huge, complex web that spreads throughout the soil of the entire forest, connecting everything in a hidden, living network. This amazing network of tree roots and fungal threads is often called the Wood Wide Web. It is like an underground internet system specially designed for trees. The fine fungal threads connect directly to the tree roots, then extend much further out into the soil than the tree's own roots could ever reach on their own. This greatly increases the area from which the tree can find and absorb water and essential minerals. It is like a busy biological superhighway, always working, always active, but completely hidden beneath our feet as we walk through the forest. This special connection between trees and fungi is a type of relationship called symbiosis. Symbiosis means living together, and in this case it is a relationship where both partners get something good. The fungi are like expert miners, very good at finding and extracting important nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen from tiny spaces in the soil. They then pass these vital nutrients along to the trees. In return for this service, the trees give the fungi something valuable too. Trees make sugars using sunlight, water, and air through a process called photosynthesis. They share some of these sugars with the fungi, so the trees feed the fungi, and the fungi help to feed the trees. It is a wonderful and fair exchange. The scientific name for this wonderful partnership between the fungi and the tree roots is mycorrhiza. This word comes from two Greek words. Myco means fungus, and rhiza means root, so the word mycorrhiza literally means fungus root. This kind of relationship is not new. It is very, very old. It has been happening for hundreds of millions of years. It was an extremely important partnership when plants first started to live on land, instead of in the water. The land was a new and difficult place for plants. The helpful fungi made it possible for them to survive by finding the nutrients they needed in the soil. There are many, many different kinds of mycorrhizal fungi in the world. Some types of these fungi form a kind of tight glove or sheath around the very tips of the tree roots. Other types of fungi actually grow into the root cells themselves, making a very close connection. But all of these different fungi do something similar. They all extend their superfine mycelial threads out into the surrounding soil. These threads can act like bridges, linking different trees together. They can even connect trees that are different species. A single fungus can be connected to many different trees at the same time. This creates a huge shared network that can cover large areas of the forest floor. Imagine this incredible underground network. Think of it as a very complex system of tiny pipes and delicate wires. The fungal threads are the pathways in this system. Through these pathways, important resources can move from one tree to another. It is not just a one-way delivery system. It is much more dynamic than that. It is a system of giving and taking, of sharing and exchange. This complicated web is completely invisible to our eyes unless we use special scientific tools. Yet, it is absolutely essential for the health and the proper working of the entire forest. It is like a team of silent, hard-working helpers, always busy keeping things connected. This fungal bridge allows trees to do some truly amazing things. It allows them to work together, to share what they have, and to communicate with each other. The fungi act as the go-betweens, making all these interactions possible. Without these tiny fungal partners, the forests that we know and love would probably not even exist. These fungi are the unsung heroes of the forest. They work tirelessly day and night to build and maintain the connections. These connections are what keep the entire woodland community healthy, strong, and able to bounce back from difficulties. One of the most surprising and wonderful discoveries about this wood wide web is that trees use it to share food with each other. We often think of nature as a place of constant struggle and competition. We hear the phrase survival of the fittest very often. And it is true that trees do compete with each other. They compete for sunlight high above in the canopy. They compete for space to grow their branches and roots. But underground, a very different story is happening. There is a surprising amount of cooperation and sharing. This is especially true among trees that are related to each other, or trees that are connected by the same helpful fungal network. For example, think about large, healthy trees. These trees usually have good access to sunlight. Because of this, they can produce a lot of sugar through photosynthesis. Sometimes they make more sugar than they need for themselves at that moment. Through the mycorrhizal network, these big trees, sometimes called mother trees or hub trees, can send some of their extra sugar to smaller, younger trees nearby. These young saplings might be struggling. They might be growing in the deep shade of the taller trees. This means they cannot get enough sunlight to make enough of their own food to grow strong. This sharing is not just limited to sugars, which are a tree's main energy source. Trees can also share other very important nutrients. These include things like nitrogen and phosphorus, which are vital for healthy growth. If one tree happens to be growing in a spot where the soil is rich in a particular nutrient, it can share some of that nutrient with its neighbors. Its neighbors might be in a spot where that nutrient is harder to find. This sharing helps to balance the resources within the whole forest community. It makes sure that more trees have a good chance to survive and grow well. This, in turn, makes the entire forest stronger and better able to face challenges. This sharing of resources is not a random act of kindness. It seems that trees have a way of recognizing their own family members. Scientific studies have carefully shown that mother trees are more likely to send valuable nutrients to their own seedlings, their own offspring. It is very much like they are looking after their children, helping them to get a good start in life. This nurturing behavior helps to ensure that their own genetic line will continue. It also helps to ensure the future health and strength of the forest. It is a special kind of parental care, done in the quiet, slow way of trees. Section 5. Sounding the alarm. How trees warn each other. The amazing wood wide web does more than just share food among the trees. It also works as a very effective warning system for the forest community. Trees can actually communicate danger to each other using this network. Imagine a tree is suddenly attacked by harmful insects. Perhaps hungry caterpillars are starting to chew on its leaves. The tree that is being attacked does not just suffer quietly and alone. It immediately starts to release special chemical signals into the air from its damaged leaves. Trees that are close by can detect these airborne signals. They can then start to prepare their own defenses before the insects reach them. But what about the trees that are further away? Or what if the wind is blowing the airborne signals in the wrong direction? This is where the incredible underground network plays a vital role. When a tree is under attack from pests or disease, it can also send warning signals down through its roots. These signals then travel through the connected mycorrhizal network. Scientists believe these signals might be chemical messages, or perhaps even tiny electrical pulses. These messages travel swiftly through the fungal threads to other trees that are part of the same network. This alerts them to the coming danger, often before they can see or smell any sign of trouble themselves. Once a tree receives such a warning signal from a neighbor, it can quickly take action to protect itself. For instance, it might start to produce special defensive chemicals in its leaves. These chemicals can make the leaves taste very bad to the invading insects. Some chemicals might even be poisonous to them. Other trees might quickly increase the amount of substances called tannins in their leaves. Tannins are bitter, and they can interfere with how well the insects can digest their food. This rapid response, triggered by the early warning, can greatly reduce the amount of damage the tree suffers when the pests finally arrive. This remarkable ability to warn each other is a very powerful defense mechanism for the entire forest community. It is like having a very efficient neighborhood watch system. If one tree in the community is in trouble, it can quickly alert the others. This gives them a chance to prepare and protect themselves. This kind of cooperative defense makes the whole forest much more resilient. It makes it better able to withstand attacks from various pests and diseases. It clearly shows us that trees are not just passive victims of circumstance. They are active communicators working together for the good and safety of their entire community. Section 6. Mother Trees, the Wise Elders of the Forest. In many forests around the world, if you look closely, you will find certain trees that are special. They are often older and much larger than the trees around them. They are also more connected to other trees through the underground network. Scientists who study forests sometimes call these important trees hub trees. More affectionately, they are often called mother trees. These trees are like the respected matriarchs of the forest community. They usually have very large and extensive root systems. Because of this, they are connected to hundreds, sometimes even thousands of other trees, through the vast mycorrhizal network. They play an extremely important role in the life and health of the forest. Mother trees are like the central communication hubs or nerve centers of the wood wide web. Because they are so well connected to so many other trees, they can gather a lot of information. They seem to know about the general state of the forest around them. They are also able to access more resources than smaller trees. Due to their great size and height, they get more sunlight for photosynthesis. Their deep roots can reach more water. They use these advantages not just for their own benefit, they also use them to support the wider forest community. They especially help the younger, more vulnerable trees that are growing in their shade. These wise, old elder trees actively nurture the young saplings that grow around them. As we have already learned, they can send sugars and other important nutrients through the fungal network. They direct these resources to the small, young trees, especially to those that are their own offspring. This help greatly increases the chances of survival for these delicate young plants. They also pass on important information. This might include warnings about pests or drought. They even seem to pass on defensive signals, helping the next generation to become strong and thrive in what can often be a challenging environment for a young tree. When a mother tree eventually reaches the end of its long life and dies, it is a very significant event for the entire forest. Its passing leaves a large gap in the canopy above. This opening allows more sunlight to reach the forest floor. This extra light can help the young trees it has nurtured for so long to grow faster and stronger. But the mother tree's legacy continues even after its death. The valuable nutrients stored in its wood and leaves are slowly recycled back into the soil as it decays. This enriches the earth and benefits the whole community. The connections it helped to build may even continue to shape the forest for many, many years to come. Section 7. Echoes from the Lab Scientific Insights into Tree Talk. The idea that trees can actually talk to each other might sound like a beautiful story from a book. However, it is much more than that. This idea is now strongly supported by a growing amount of scientific evidence. Researchers and scientists from all over the world are using very clever and sophisticated techniques. They are using these tools to study the hidden interactions that happen between trees. Dr. Suzanne Simard, a highly respected forest ecologist from Canada, has been a true pioneer in this exciting field of study. Her careful and detailed experiments have provided very strong proof that the Wood Wide Web is real. Her work has also shown us how it functions. In one of her most famous and important experiments, Dr. Simard used special radioactive carbon isotopes. These isotopes allowed her to trace the movement of carbon in the form of sugars between different trees. She carefully injected a large mother tree with a form of carbon that she could track. Then, she watched and measured. She observed that this traceable carbon actually moved from the mother tree to the smaller saplings growing nearby. It traveled through the underground mycorrhizal network. She even discovered something more amazing. She found that mother trees sent more carbon to their own kin, their own seedlings, compared to young trees that were not related to them. Other scientific studies have looked closely at how trees respond to distress signals from their neighbors. For example, researchers have carefully simulated an insect attack on one tree in a controlled setting. They then monitored the responses of other nearby trees that were connected to the attacked tree by the fungal network. They found that these neighboring trees quickly increased their production of defensive enzymes. They did this even before they were attacked themselves. This important finding confirmed that warning signals were indeed being sent and received through the underground network. The trees were talking about the danger. Scientists are also currently exploring another fascinating aspect of tree communication. They are investigating the role of tiny electrical signals. Just like the nerve impulses that travel through the bodies of animals, trees also generate very small electrical signals. These signals can travel through their own tissues. It is also possible that they can travel through the connecting fungal network. This area of research is still quite new and in its early stages. However, it opens up another exciting possibility for how trees might be talking to each other. It seems the forest is not just full of chemical whispers, but perhaps electrical ones too. Section 8. The vital green: why forest preservation is crucial. Understanding that forests are not just random collections of trees, but are actually complex, communicative communities, completely changes how we should think about them. They are not simply stands of timber that are waiting for us to come and harvest them. They are living systems. They are intricate and deeply interconnected, much like our own human societies in many ways. Every single tree, every tiny fungus, every little creature that lives in the forest plays an important part in this vibrant and bustling web of life. This new understanding clearly highlights the profound and urgent importance of preserving our planet's forests. Forests provide us with so many things that are absolutely essential for our survival and well-being. They produce the very oxygen that we need to breathe every second of our lives. They absorb enormous quantities of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This helps to regulate our global climate and is a key factor in combating the serious problem of global warming. Forests are also home to an incredible diversity of plants and animals. Many of these species are found nowhere else on Earth. Forests also protect our precious soils from being washed away by rain. They help to keep our rivers and lakes clean by filtering water. Their value to us is truly immeasurable. When we destroy forests through activities like deforestation, clear-cutting for agriculture or development, or unsustainable logging practices, we are doing much more than just killing individual trees. We are brutally tearing apart these ancient and incredibly complex networks of communication and support. We are effectively silencing the quiet conversations that have been taking place between trees for thousands, even millions of years. We are deeply disrupting the delicate balance of nature that supports so much life on this planet, including our own human lives. The consequences of such destruction are far-reaching, severe, and often devastating for everyone. Therefore, preserving our forests means much more than just saving trees. It means protecting these vital communication networks. It means protecting these living communities of trees. It means allowing the wise mother trees to continue their important work of nurturing their young. It means ensuring that the intricate fungal webs can continue to share resources and send out warnings when danger approaches. Adopting sustainable forestry practices, creating more protected areas like national parks, and making serious efforts to reforest lands that have been degraded are all absolutely vital steps. We must learn to work in harmony with the forest, not against its ancient wisdom. Section 9. Listening to the trees, a call to protect our heritage. The discovery of the secret language of trees is a truly profound reminder. It reminds us of the deep interconnectedness of all life on our beautiful planet. These silent, majestic giants, which we humans have often taken for granted for far too long, are actually engaged in a constant, quiet dialogue. They are involved in a graceful dance of cooperation, mutual support, and shared existence. Learning about their hidden world, their secret social lives, fills us with a deep sense of wonder. It also fills us with a newfound respect for their complexity. It clearly shows us that there is so much more to nature than what we can easily see with our eyes. There are so many intricate processes constantly at play. Now that we know that trees can share their food, nurture their young, and warn each other of danger, we can no longer see them as merely isolated individual beings. We must understand that a forest is much more like a superorganism. It is a vast, interconnected community where the health and well-being of each member contributes directly to the health and resilience of the whole. This important knowledge brings with it a significant responsibility. It is our responsibility to learn to listen more closely. We need to pay attention to what the forests are trying to tell us through their incredible beauty, their amazing resilience, and sometimes through their vulnerability to our actions. Let us try to take our next walk in the woods with new eyes and new ears. Let us try to appreciate the ancient wisdom that is held within the rings of old trees. Let us marvel at the intricate, invisible connections that thrive beneath our feet as we tread softly on the forest floor. Let us actively support the many efforts being made around the world to protect these absolutely vital ecosystems. We must do this for their sake, and also for our own sake, and for the sake of future generations. Every single tree we manage to save, every precious forest we work to preserve, is a positive step towards safeguarding these incredible natural networks and the future of our shared planet. The trees have been speaking their quiet language for a very, very long time. It is now truly time for us, as humans, to learn to listen to them properly. Their language is one of community, of resilience in the face of challenges, and of deep interdependence. These are valuable lessons that we, as human beings, would do very well to learn and to apply in our own lives and societies. By protecting our forests, we are not just protecting a useful resource like timber or clean water, we are protecting a precious heritage, we are protecting a fundamental source of life. We are protecting a profound and patient teacher. Let us all work together to ensure that their gentle whispers, their secret conversations, continue for all the generations yet to come.